Magnificent display of individual greatness at the highest levels of professional basketball. The only time on back-to-back days was there another 60-point performance. First, Karl-Anthony Towns on his birthday, a 60 and 17 masterpiece, followed by Kyrie Irving's electrifying display. A 60-piece displaying basketball magic made the opposing team's defense look tragic. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. With the league full of incredible talent and superstars across many teams, sometimes it's hard to keep track of everyone to score 60. In an era of free-flowing spread-out offense combined with elite three-point shooting, scoring 50 has never been easier for elite scorers. Over the past years, many fans today can't imagine what the game was like even 8 years ago. Slower pace, lower scoring. From Kobe's 61 at MSG in 2009, almost a 5-year span until the next 60-point performance, Carmelo Anthony at the Garden in 2014, while 1994 the Admiral's 71 points for the scoring title, the last 60-point performance of the 90s, the next Shaq in 2000, a 6-year span. Today, we'll take a look at every active NBA player to ever drop 60. Let's see who really had the best 60-point game. Starting with the earliest time frame, Carmelo Anthony vs. the Charlotte Hornets, January 24, 2014. The epic graphic, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist's most famous career moment. Aside from the ugly jump shot, MKG will always be known for getting cooked by Melo. Anthony a blazing start, 20 of that 62 in the first quarter, 8 of 10 from the field, followed by 17 in the second, 19 in the third. The lineup of Felton, Prigioni, Shumpert, and Chandler, only 6 in the fourth, subbed out before the 7-minute mark of the game when the 62 was already done. 23 baskets on 35 shots, 6 of 11 from deep, 10 of 10 from the line, 13 boards, and of course no assists. A plus 34 broke Kobe's MSG record. The Arsenal, a thing of beauty. Anthony's most memorable moment for New York after the 2013 playoffs, also the most points ever without a single turnover. LeBron James, 61 points, the face mask. March 3rd, 2014, at the height of his two-way prime. Scary to believe James 8 years later still capable to score close to 60 at this stage of his career. Also against MKG and the Bobcats, James extremely efficient, 22 of 33 from the field, 8 of 10 from deep, 9 of 12 from the line, 7 boards, 4 dimes, 22 in the first half, did most of his damage in the third quarter, 25 points, 9 of 11 from the field, 5 of 5 from deep, destroying Charlotte that whole period, one along with a dozen more in the fourth. 5 weeks apart from Melo's career high, Charlotte was actually a top defensive team under Steve Clifford. James a plus 16, 41 minutes, forever known as the mask game. LeBron's Heat days, one of the scariest forces the game will ever see from a physical and athletic standpoint. Klay Thompson, December 5th, 2016, absolutely masterful shooting clinic, 121 of 33 from the field, 8 of 14 from deep, a plus 37, only 29 minutes, which is insane. Although he had 2 of the top 3 players in Steph and KD on his team. Thompson, 17 in the first quarter, 23 in the second on 4 threes, 20 more in the third quarter, didn't even play in the fourth. Many argue whether Klay could have broken Kobe's 81-point mark, 11 total dribbles, the possession scored, as perfect a 3-and-D guy this generation has seen, let alone 60. Klay became the first guy to score at least 45 while playing under 30 minutes. 10 of 11 from the line, the stroke effortless. That's how unstoppable Golden State was. One of the surest bets before the season to win the title. The fact that Thompson was somewhat off his game in the 2017 title run and Golden State only lost 1 game that whole playoffs goes to show a strong case, arguably 2017 dubbed the greatest team all time. Next up, Devin Booker, March 24th, 2017, 70 but an L. Honestly, nowhere near as impressive as Klay's 45-minute play. 21 of 40 from the field, 4 of 11 from deep, 24 of 26 free throws, 20 years old, 10 in the first quarter. Didn't look like anything crazy would happen. The Suns 22 wins with less than 10 games left in the season, 9 in the second period. Phoenix down 23, Book caught fire in the second half, 23 in the third, 10 of 10 from the field, and 28 in the fourth in the failed comeback attempt. The score was 119-101 with under 4 minutes left. Game pretty much over. Book proceeded to score 18 points afterwards to cut the deficit, a 10-point loss, but could have easily sat out with 52. A lot of points in garbage time, made history becoming the youngest all time to put up the stat line. but Melo's 62 way more impressive, did all his work before the 7-minute mark of the fourth, the worst 70+ point performance amongst all the guys that's done it given the results of the game. James Harden, January 30th, 2018, an absolute tear, 19 of 30, 17 of 18 from the line, the first and only 60-point triple-double, 10 boards, 11 dimes, 4 steals, excelling under D'Antoni. Orlando, 14 and 35 overall at the time. The Bears MVP season, 16 in the first, perfect third quarter of 18 points, broke Calvin Murphy's 57-point franchise record, drilled the step-back 3-and-1 on Herzonia, his MVP-defining game of the season. Perhaps the most surprising player with a 60-piece, Kemba Walker, 2018-19 season. With Charlotte, the former All-Star starter came up short against Butler, Simmons, and Embiid. 60-piece, 21 of 34 from the field, 6 of 14 from deep, 12 of 12 from the line, 39 through 3 quarters. Followed by a 6 of 7, 19.4, down 10 with under 4 minutes. Kemba scored 16 of the team's final 18 points after the 4:10 mark, a chance to take the lead with 15 ticks left, but came up short. Ultimately, Jimmy Butler drained the dagger. Kemba scored more than all his other teammates combined, but overshadowed by Jimmy's game winner. Coming off a 7-point game the previous time, the fewest points scored for anybody to follow up with a 60-point effort. Peak Kemba, fun to watch while it lasted, made all NBA third team that season. Next to James Harden, of course, the 2019 scoring streak, the peak of his offensive powers. The Beard couldn't do no wrong early 2019, especially January, 61, 15 and 4, 5 steals, worse the 10 and 36 Knicks, but 17 of 38 from the field, 22 of 25 from the line, 61 points, a plus 19, no CP3. Already had 36 in the first half, but the team trailed in the second half. Tied Kobe for most points by a visitor at MSG, first player to attempt 20 threes and 20 free throws in the game, did whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. But I'm not too overly impressed given he was playing against the worst team in the league. Game should not have been that close in the first place. Up 6 with a minute to go, gave up the lead before Eric Gordon drained the clutch 3 and stole the ball, leading to a Harden breakaway dunk for 61. While Harden's 60-point game versus Orlando easily better than the Knicks game, March 22nd, Harden 61 versus San Antonio, 19 of 34, 9 of 13 from 3, 14 of 17 from the line, 61, 7 and 1, a plus 18, monster 27-point first quarter outburst, 10 of 12 from the line that period, had some fourth quarter magic. Final period, a 111-105 win over a 42-31 team. Spurs actually led 194 under 5 minutes left. Harden drained 3 straight triples, followed by 2 more baskets, a 13-2 run of his own to close out San Antonio, one of Harden's best career games. Multiple 60 pieces, 3 to be exact for Dame Lillard. November 8, 2019 against Brooklyn, 7 threes, a plus 4, but Portland lost by 4, 16 in the fourth, but down 115-105. Lillard proceeded to score Portland's last 10 points, the final 140 mark, cut it to 5, but the game was all but over. Given his brilliance, it was just extra buckets at the end that didn't change any results of the game. James Harden versus Atlanta just 22 days later, a 4-16 team with Trae Young, rookie DeAndre Hunter, Allen Crabbe, Jabari minus 33 Parker, Damian Jones, 16 of 24 shooting, 60 points in 3 quarters, a plus 50 in the game, 8 of 14 from deep, 20 of 23 from the line. This was the game Harden might have had a chance to surpass 81 given how hot he was. Atlanta, no defense, just gave up 127 points for Houston through 3 quarters. Harden's 31 first half, 29 in the third quarter alone, 16 free throws attempts alone that 12-minute span, 127-63 the score after 3, a 47-point blowout win, an absolute pathetic travesty defense from Atlanta. Commentators lost their minds. Harden outscored the Hawks 60-58 when he was on the floor. Hard for stars to play in the fourth, went up over 40 points, 2 points from breaking his career high. Houston also 2 points from breaking their team high. That was when Trae Young got a lot of backlash on defense. In my opinion, this was Harden's best regular season performance. Dame Lillard, January 20th, 2020, overtime win versus the 10-35 Warriors, 17 of 37 from the field, 11 of 20 from deep, 10 boards, 7 dimes, no McCollum. Warriors didn't have Curry or Draymond. Lillard 54 before OT, drained a clutch bomb to tie the game, 15 ticks left, down 3 in OT, tied it up again with under a minute, hit his free throws. Perfect 16 of 16 for a 129-124 win, set the record for most points in Martin Luther King Day. A banged up team at the time, every single point needed to win that game. 7 months later, same season, August 11th, the only 60 piece in the bubble, the world went crazy, a must win versus Dallas. Portland needed to be perfect to sneak into the 8th spot. Lillard a 61 points, 17 of 32 game, 9 of 17 from 3, perfect 18 of 18 from the stripe, 8 dimes. McCollum just 2 of 14. Dame time 22 in the 4th, a 134-131 win, best stretch of his career. This performance absolutely belongs in the front section of the Bubble Hall of Fame if there ever was one. The first player since Wilt Chamberlain to record 3 60-point games in the same season dating back to 1963. A man possessed, went back-to-back 50-point games, played his tail off. Although no match round 1 versus the Lakers several weeks later, Bubble Lillard was at the peak of his scoring powers. Stephen Curry, January 3rd, 2021, versus Dame's Blazers. We knew it was only a matter of time before Steph would be on this list. 62 piece, 18 of 31 shooting, 8 threes on 50% mix. A plus 20, but had 5 turnovers, 36 minutes after eliminating in 2020. Everybody happy to see Curry back, put on a classic display. Draymond scored 1 point, but a plus 22. The handoff, the chemistry, 2 days after getting bashed, started with 21 in the first period, in the zone all night, while Bradley Beal had 60, and the loss to Philly January 6, 20 of 35 shooting, a minus 9, and beating Curry combined 56, Beal 25 in the third. Down most of the game, no legs left in the 4th, just 3 points on 1 of 6 shooting the final period. 38 minutes played, had 57 drew 3, but was exhausted. His team so bad on D, gave up 49 in the second quarter to Philly. Jason Tatum, April 30th, 2021, tied Larry Bird for most in Celtic history. 8 boards, 5 dimes, a plus 6 against San Antonio. An OT win, trailed by 23 after 1, took over in overtime with 10. No other Celtic more than 17 points that game. Also no turnovers. Boston viewed as disappointing. Many criticized JT's ability, proved himself as a true superstar, showing why he's the best player in the 2017 class. Came back from a 32-point deficit, a game to be remembered, trailed by 29 at the half, a hard-fought victory. Karl-Anthony Towns, March 14, 2022, on his birthday, joining Shaq as the only two to drop 60 on their birthdays, a 149-139 win, masterclass 19 of 31 shooting, 7 of 11 from deep, making the case perhaps really is the best 3-point shooting center all time, 15 of 16 from the line, 60 and 17, a plus 16, 32 points the third quarter alone. As everybody talked Jokic versus Embiid, Towns made his name known and remembered, having a case for All-NBA second team on his way to his second winning season, with the Wolves making noise. Towns' name potentially in future MVP discussions. Kyrie Irving, basketball magician at the purest, one of the most skills to ever play the game, a league by himself with the handles, balance, footwork, offensive creativity, by far one of the most exciting players to watch. 41 historic goal points the first half. Given being a part-time player, Irving's long time away from the court often doesn't seem rusty. 20 of 31 from the field, 8 3-pointers. After Towns' 60-point bomb, setting the highest scoring individual game of the season, Irving tied him less than 24 hours later, having the most points in the first 2 quarters since Kobe in 03. Brooklyn scored a franchise best 86 after 2, past Deron Williams' 57-point previous record. Kyrie got those points in the flow of the game. All the noise, the stupid New York City Band-Aids, absolute lunacy. Irving still not being able to play home games. It's mid-March. Magic fans chanted Kyrie, spectacular on all levels, just a few games played, multiple 50-plus point performances of the season. If Irving continues to dominate like this, scary for opponents, one of the more spectacular 60-point games you'll ever see. Now for my 60-point game rankings, current players, the least impressive, James Harden, January 23rd versus the Knicks, missed 15 threes. Should have been a blowout against one of the worst teams. Attempted 38 shots, just 45% from the field. Harden and Lillard the only active players scoring 60 plus to shoot under 50% in those games. Dame Lillard shot well, 19 of 33, but a 4-point loss to Brooklyn, one of the most forgotten 60-point games. Bradley Beal versus the Sixers, 20 of 35, only 3 of those 60 in the fourth, a 9-point defeat. Number 13, Dame Lillard versus Golden State without Steph or Draymond, 17 of 37 shooting, hit a bunch of clutch shots, but the game should have been more winnable. Number 12, believe it or not, Devin Booker's 70-point game, 18 of those points, last 4 minutes, game wasn't remotely close, Suns was never in position to win that, 21 of 40 from the field, 45 minutes played, a bunch of these guys on the list, if played an extra 7 minutes, no doubt a bunch of them would have scored 70 on better efficiency in a win instead of a loss. Number 11, Jason Tatum, despite a 32-point comeback, caught fire at the right time, but San Antonio wasn't that good of a team. JT needed that extra 5 minutes to get his 60 in OT. Impressive comeback, but doesn't crack top 10. Number 10, Dame Lillard vs Dallas, the bubble 61-point masterpiece, 41 minutes. Number 9, Steph Curry vs Portland, went bananas after Dame trash talked him a few days before. Curry destroyed Lillard's Blazers. Dame gave him respect afterwards, Steph's best game in his comeback season. Number 8, Karl Towns, reminding everybody he was a former number 1 pick, the hottest team since the All-Star break. A year ago, Minnesota viewed as a hopeless franchise, now pretty hopeful heading into 2022 playoffs. Number 7, James Harden, 60-point triple-double versus Orlando, 46 minutes versus a bad team. Houston shorthanded without Paul. The triple-double looked amazing on paper, but James only a +7. Number 6, James Harden vs San Antonio, 61 points, 27 in the first, late scoring run, rallied while down 6 with 4 minutes left, scored the rest of his team's points. Number 5, LeBron James, 61 point vs Charlotte, 67% from the field, clicked on all cylinders, 8 of 10 from 3. Miami LeBron in the zone could do no wrong. Number 4, Karl-Anthony, 2014. I ranked this performance a hair above LeBron, given Melo doing so against the same team, a +34, just as efficient, and played 2 fewer minutes. Number 3, Kyrie Irving. When you have the opposing fans cheering for you in the third quarter, you know you're special. Yes, I rank Uncle Drew's performance this high, super unexpected outbursts, 41 at the half was insane, the moves and ridiculous finishes, a +36, game was out of reach. After subbing out with over 8 minutes left in the fourth, played only 35 total minutes, only minutes lower was number 1 and number 2 on this list. Number 2, James Harden, 60 versus Atlanta, a +50 in the game, 31 minutes for 60 points, demolished the Hawks, didn't even play in the fourth. Given how Harden cooked the team, there was no doubt he could have came close to 81 if the game was closer. Number 1, Klay Thompson, 60 piece, 11 dribbles on his baskets made, 29 minutes, the shooting display, under 30 minutes played, a +37, held the ball for just 90 seconds total in the game. When Thompson gets it going, it's almost automatic. Having a tough time deciding between Harden or Thompson, I'm fine with either one being number 1. Thank you so much for watching this video. Who do you guys think had the best 60+ point game in your opinion? Which one is the most underrated on this list? Let me know in the comments below. I love all of you. Subscribe for more content. See you next time.